Ukraine today is joined by a man who was accused of plotting to assassinate Russian President Vladimir Putin. Once all the charges were dropped, he went to eastern Ukraine to fight against Russian aggression. He's a Chechen, a Muslim, and now the commander of the volunteer Chechen Battalion. I'm very pleased to welcome Mr. Adam Osmayev. Adam, welcome to Ukraine today. Adam, first of all, thank you for joining us. Adam, can you explain what are you doing here in eastern Ukraine?
I felt obliged when this aggression started against Ukraine. I felt obliged to come here and help in any way that I could, be it with helping with food, bringing supplies or anything, whatever I could do better. So here we saw that we are needed here because lots of Chechens from Chechnya have a lot of experience, especially fighting Russian army. We have fought Russian army for decades now, and Ukrainian army found our experience very valuable in some places. So I came here and joined Adam Osmayev, Chechen general, who came here to help Ukrainian army against Russian aggression. And I joined his battalion, named after General Dudayev, and we have fought since then until his death in February in the Baltsovo. And that's when I took over the command, because the guys decided that I should take over the command. And since then I'm in charge of the battalion.
Adam, you are Chechen by nationality, and you just said that you felt the need to come here to eastern Ukraine and fight for Ukraine. Can you explain why did you feel this need?
Absolutely. First of all, I saw this a great injustice being done before our eyes today when this peaceful nation was attacked for no reason at all, and it was viciously attacked by Putin and his regime. And this is just a great unfairness and injustice, and I felt obliged to come here and help because of that. This is the first reason. Secondly, because if Ukraine becomes a strong, free state, then I'm sure that this will bring freedom to Russia itself and to my homeland, to Chechnya as well. And this is a step towards freedom of my homeland. So this is the second reason I felt obliged to come here and help in any way I could.
You have quite a complicated history, if I may say so. You were charged with plotting to assassinate President Putin. You were tried, you were detained for almost 3 years during the pre-trial investigation, during the trial itself. Then all the charges were dismissed. Can you tell our viewers what's the story behind this? How did it all happen?
Well, it's a long story actually, but it happened during the ousted President Yanukovych, and it was basically a present from him for President Putin before his elections, and this is how I felt. Or maybe he wanted to bargain for lower gas prices or something like that. Whatever the reason for it, but the situation happened, and Chechen is the best candidate for such things, so they chose me for some reason. But in any case, new government came, and it was possible to have a fair trial, and the court decided that I'm not guilty of this plot, and I was freed in court. And this is actually a third reason why I feel obliged to come and help here, because Ukraine actually saved my life by not extraditing me to Russia and not giving me to Russia, so I owe a lot to Ukraine.
Your wife was fighting in eastern Ukraine before you came here to fight. It's an amazing story about your wife. She's a Muslim female Chechen fighter. Can you tell her story, Adam? How did she end up on the front lines?
Actually, my wife was born in Ukraine. She's a citizen of Ukraine and born in Odessa. Grew up in Odessa, and basically it's her homeland, and she felt obliged to come here and fight. And she has actually lost her homeland in Chechnya before that, so she couldn't allow Ukraine to be lost as well. So she came here and started fighting long before me, and actually she's now in the Zoloty Vorota Battalion as well, and fighting this Russian aggression.
There are quite a few of Chechens fighting alongside you in your battalion. Where do they all come from?
Many of them came from Europe, actually, and it's a good thing that we can give this place as an alternative for those Chechens who feel this need, this urge to come and fight some injustice. They have this alternative to come here and fight for European interests as well as their own interests, and this is a great opportunity for them to come and pour the enthusiasm. So most of them come from Europe, some come from Russia, some come from Ukraine.
And what motivates them to fight for the future of the country, which is not their native country?
Well, actually, we all were born in the Soviet Union, so Ukraine is kind of very close to us in any way. So we feel for the problems of the post-Soviet Union countries, and we feel we're very close to these problems, and they are very close to us. So this is nothing special for us, because Ukrainians have always been helping us as well. During the first war they came and helped, some of the volunteers came and helped in Chechnya against the Russian aggression, because Ukrainians have suffered a lot as well from Russian Empire. So especially in the western Ukraine there's this good understanding of the Russian Empire, of its vicious policies.
Who do you fight against here in eastern Ukraine?
Well, mostly it is former criminals and drug addicts and other people of who have not found themselves in this life, but they are commanded by Russian army, Russian special services, and many units of Russian special forces are fighting here as well. So sometimes there are some Kadyrovites, the so-called Chechens, fighting as well, but you can rarely find them on the front line. Usually they are very far behind front line, stealing and doing things like that.
So Chechens are fighting against other Chechens. Can you explain this? How did it happen?
Well, these so-called Chechens, the Kadyrovites, they are absolutely the same as those guys, the so-called separatists, who are actually just traitors of the nation of Ukraine. And these Chechens, the Kadyrovites, are the same traitors of their own nation. They sold their nation to a foreign state, an aggressor. And we have seen this during the Nazi invasion as well. Some people cooperated with them against their own nation. So this is nothing new. Unfortunately, in every nation there is a certain percentage of people that will go and cooperate with occupants. So unfortunately, Chechens are not an exception.
With the war raging in eastern Ukraine for almost a year now, do you think we will see the end of it anytime soon, or will we have another frozen conflict as in many other parts of post-Soviet world?
If there are some responsible and brave leaders in the West, then I think this problem will go away with Putin very soon. But if they play this softness with him, then I think this will go on, and once he gets stronger, he will just go ahead and take more and more land until he stopped. Basically, he needs to be stopped, and the Western leaders have the means, but they need some bravery to use them, actually. And with absolutely little resources, they can stop him, and stop him with little blood as well.
So do you think the West should do more to push Vladimir Putin to stop the war in eastern Ukraine?
Absolutely, they should do much more actually, because the future of the whole continent is being decided here today in eastern Ukraine actually, and if Putin is not stopped and removed, then he will get stronger, and one day he might attack European states, and he's actually he has the potential to destroy the whole world actually. So Western leaders should do a lot more. They have showed that they can do more during the Soviet times, and they should be more brave actually, because the Russians can be beaten, and the Chechen, small Chechen nation showed this before, and they should just show more responsibility and more bravery, I think.
Adam, and my final question, once this war is over, will you expect Ukrainians, whom are you helping now, to go to Chechnya and help your people liberate themselves from Russia?
I'm certain that if Ukraine wins, then Russia will leave Chechnya itself. We won't have to fight in Chechnya even, I think. I'm certain of this.
Adam, many thanks for your time. This was Volodymyr Suluhub for Ukraine Today, together with the commander of the Chechen Volunteer Battalion, Mr. Adam Osmayev. Thank you for watching us.